Hi everyone. Today, I've picked out some great stories for you. And so, let's begin. Sorry dude, it's only been me here and trash is all I've seen. Not long ago I was working at a marina and it was a great job. I drove around a beautiful beach with my pooch on a golf cart, keeping an eye on things. And my favorite thing to do is create good content for you guys, and the best reward is to subscribe to my channel. I'm waiting for you to act, my friend, and I'll continue the story. When the shutdown happened we stayed open and as one of the only outdoor places to be were packed. The vibe changed and trash was much more common. People emptying their trash from car in the lot before leaving and get mad that I refused to open the gate until they took care of it. I had a lady call the cops and report me for kidnapping. The cop that showed yelled at me then I had though. I'm at the beach one beautiful afternoon and noticed a family waking away from their picnic table. I realized they are going to the parking lot to leave but had trashed their area. I'm talking pooped in diapers on the table they couldn't even be bothered to roll up. I was triggered to the max and thinking how to approach the situation. That's when amongst the table of trash I see important looking large set of keys. It was time to take a break. I was happily strolling to the beach shore, my favorite place to collect my thoughts. Random thoughts like how good my arm is after all these years. Good enough I'm sure. I then went to go finish cleaning the most trashed area I had seen. As expected some guy looking guilty and panicked walked up to me. Have you seen any keys around here by chance? I looked at him and told him I don't think so, but feel free to check the bin as I added a diaper to the top poo side down. He quickly came to terms that he wasn't getting them back, but he watched me continue to clean his mess to be sure. I would look at him smiling as we both knew I was in too good a mood for task at hand. He couldn't even be mad knowing he'd have them had they cleaned up after themselves. Probably knew he'd have done the same. I wanted him to accuse me so I could troll him more, but he was smart enough. They were in the parking lot for hours waiting around. I enjoyed every time I checked to see that they hadn't left yet. When I was a kid, our state made it a law with a fine for the plethora of recreational fishermen who would catch fish, fillet them, and toss the rest of the carcass in the waters. At peak fishing season, drifting mats of dead fish were just stinking up the marinas, so it was about time. Signs were posted at every cleaning station, please bag and trash your fish waste in the provided dumpsters. State law, $250 fine. Most fishermen complied. But there were a few who refused to change their ways, claiming ducks will eat them. They always had the surprise Pikachu face when the local constabulary came to find them. Growing up commercial fishing, we used almost everything from the fish. If it wasn't used to cook with it was used as bait. We did dump the guts back into the water, but the gators would eat that without a problem. Salmon heads and spines make the best crab bait in the pots a few months after salmon season is over. Yes, we had a separate freezer for crab bait. I think I saw some keys. Once you've cleaned up your picnic area I'm quite sure they'll turn up. How to get hit by a stranger 101. I'd have been tempted to drop them in the messy diaper and left it on the table whilst clearing off everything else. Roll them up in the diaper. Lol, that's exactly what I would have done. The cop that showed yelled at me then I had though. More than I had, I think. I assume it's at her more than I had. I was wondering about that too for a minute and then moved on. Yelled at her more than me? I assume it's to read the cop that showed yelled at her more than I had though. I assume it's to read the cop that showed yelled at her more than I had though. Tailgating revenge. Another post inspired me to post about my similar petty revenge. This happened last week. I'm in the far left lane on the autoroute interstate because I'm passing a semi. Out of nowhere a large Audi SUV crawls right up the rear of my car and starts flashing their high beams at me. This normally makes me slow down a little. I can't be too much of a dick because I'm in a lettered company vehicle with our office phone number in it. I do a quick scan of my dash and see on my navigation app that there's a report of police just up ahead in a construction zone. It's not an active zone as the work is done, but the lower speed limit is still there. Fines and possibly demerit points are doubled in construction zones here. So I pass the truck and signal that I'm changing lanes, but I take a few extra seconds to get out of their way. As they pass I mouth slow down and do the hand lowering thing, but I'm pretty sure they're going to ignore me. They do, but also flip me the bird. Oh well I tried. They roar by probably going about 30-40 kilometers per hour over the 90 kilometers per hour, 55 miles per hour construction zone speed limit. I have a smug grin as the police officer lights up the Audi. Very recently was walking my dog in the neighborhood and heard horn blaring to my right. I looked and saw some old dude in a business van tailgating an SUV that wasn't going particularly slow in the 25 miles per hour zone we were in. He ended up illegally passing him, only to narrowly evade hitting me and my dog turning left and blazing through the crosswalk I was actively crossing. Luckily I'd already been looking at that van long enough to know which local business it was from. Called the business to report the driver for their recklessness. Wouldn't have if they didn't almost hit my dog and I in the street. Told them about the aggressive tailgating, illegal passing, and for almost hitting me, and recommended they either retrain their drivers or find a better representative for their business. While I can't verify that they followed through, the guy's tone and the fact that they asked me for a lot of details on the incident leaves me pretty confident the dude's getting at the very least a talking to. I just love calling in bannered vehicles that behave dickishly. Running stop signs, near schools, the California ride on red, tailgating, reading material on the steering wheel. They'd get called in on once myself and boss called me right away, asking where I was and what I was doing. Realized who probably called it in. I pulled out of a driveway with plenty of room to spare, but other driver thought no explained it and I had a good record, he didn't bust me. What is that? Not giving way to people in crosswalk. This almost happened to me. I wasn't tailgating, but was trying to get around a slower car that was passing someone even slower. Right before he got over he pumped the brakes about 5 times and put his hazards on. Truck divers put their hazards on to say thank you and watch out. So I pulled up beside him when he got over and he looked at me and did a twirl with his hands. I passed him and did the speed limit. About half a mile up the road there was a state trooper waiting. Wherever that guy is I hope he is having a great day. One time I made a ride at a light with a merge lane, an ambulance was coming up behind me so like 300 yards down the road I pulled over. The guy behind me flew by and didn't stop for the ambulance, gave me the finger for no reason. About a quarter mile down the road I see him all lit up pulling down a side street. Just hit him the friendly beep beep as I went by. Driving across the country we just got into Washington state. We'd gone through a small town and it was pitch black. I could sense the cop speed trap that would be up ahead. Red car comes way too fast passing all the cars. Waited for a bit and he was still all the way up my ass, so I moved over like he wanted and as he sped past, he was promptly pulled over. My unlicensed road trip buddy, having never drove, was shocked and asked how I knew the cop would be there. I just shrugged and said I drive cross country a lot and have experience or something to that effect. Still feel like a badass off that one. A few years ago, I was traveling south between Manassas and Newport News on I-17 because fuck I-64, doing maybe 5 over. In the space of half an hour, I was passed by 3 different cars like I was sitting still. 5 minutes after each one passed me, I passed them again, sitting on the side of the road, VI state trooper sitting behind them with the light bar on. I call them rabbits, getting the dogs to chase them instead of me. More for everyone else than short and sweet. Not sure if this is necessarily revenge, but let me know if there's a better sub where this will fit. We were excited to pass out candy for the first time in our new home and so decided to go all out and get the big size candy bars. The group of 7 came to the door and in the center was a really pushy kid shoving his hand in front of everyone else and purposely blocking the littlest of the group who couldn't have been older than 5. I give him his candy bar first hoping he'd get out of the way, but he took the candy bar and stuck his hand right back out. I avoided his hand and went on passing the candy out to everyone around him. When I get to the little girl behind him he literally snatched the candy bar out of my hand, shoved it in his bag, and stuck his hand out again asking for more. Oh no. I looked him right in his eyes and said just for that everyone else gets 3. And proceeded to go back into my tub and hand everyone else 2 more big size candy bars. Lost a fair bit of my candy stash, but it was worth it. Screw that kid. Not every kid gets raised right. You did good. Real good. How's it feel to be the hero to the other kids? None of them will forget that. Good on you. I didn't even think about that. But that makes my petty move feel that much more satisfying. You will certainly be on their list of must-visit houses next year. Screw the pooch for next year. Those little bastards are vultures. Might be good to have a separate bowl of raisins for kids like that. Toothbrush and dental floss. It's crazy but you reminded me of something when I was younger. For Halloween, Mom always took me to the rich folks' neighborhood. There was a dentist there that always handed out a toothbrush, a really good one, dental floss, and a big tube of toothpaste. We were poor, so as much as I looked forward to the candy, I secretly cold wait all year to get all the teeth goodies. We were super poor, but dang you just unlocked a great memory for me. I used to get a toothbrush from the same dentist each year too. Kids like stuff that's good for them too. My cousins give out boxes of Kraft Dinner, the Og mac and cheese, each year, and you can bet the kids love it and come back every year. We have a house near our neighborhood this year that gave the kids a choice of 3 things. A drink, a full-size candy bar, or a potato. About a third of the kids chose the potato. It's pretty funny added. Spelling. When I was a kid there was a fellow in my neighborhood who gave out potatoes instead of candy every year. Super nice guy though, was still always the favorite house that everyone made sure to go to. Old lady candy that was popular in the 30s. My grandma always had a glass dish with a lid with lemon drops inside. I loved those candies so much. Oh, this video has come to an end. If you want more such cool stories, then go to one of the many following videos.